Alright, this is a 1 versus 1 siege battle. I'm defending Londinium as the Brits, and I think this is a 25k, so all the units are pretty heavily upgraded. My army, I've got 4 units of Woad Warriors. I've got 7 units of Head Hurlers. And I've got 8 units of Oathsworn. My general unit is with one of the Oathsworn. And then for Cav, I only have 1 unit. It's a heavy chariot that's on the other side of the city there. My opponent is CraigConnor, who I think is Scottish. He's playing as Pontus, and I think on this day he hosted a lot of siege battles where he was the attacker, because Prince of Macedon recently posted a siege battle where Connor was attacking. So Connor has 10 units of Bronze Shield Pikemen. This is the best unit available for infantry to Pontus. So these are all heavily upgraded. He's also got a lot of Cilician pirates. Those are javelin throwers that fight with axes. He's got 5 of them, and he's using them to push his battering rams. And then he brought a bunch of cav, which is not really a good idea if you're attacking in a siege. He has 5 units of Cappadocian cavalry. These are very good heavy cavalry, similar to cataphracts. So I took my 1 cav unit, my heavy chariots, and I put them out on this side of the city. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them, but I wanted to use them to distract his army. If I take cav defending in a siege, it's basically just to distract the enemy. I didn't know if I was going to actually make them fight or not, but it did work. Instead of ignoring my 1 chariot, he's going to send all of his cavalry after this 1 chariot unit and pretty much wear out his cavalry. So I'm setting up the fight with this hill advantage here. Got the Oathsworn and the Head Hurlers massing on this part. I was expecting him to attack through this part of the wall. The only rule Connor made was no artillery. Which didn't affect me because Britannia doesn't have artillery available to them. Keeping my Woad Warriors in the center as reinforcements. So that's a long ways to go to get to one cav unit. I think Connor is pretty new. So now his Cilician pirates are at the wall, and he's moving up his pikemen. I'm not going to fight him over the walls. He can have them. He didn't bring any archers, which was a mistake, because the Brits don't have archers available to them unless they're on chariots. So I would have given him the advantage of putting his archers behind his pikemen, and shooting up my infantry, which the Oathsworn really aren't all that good when compared to the elite infantry of other factions like Rome or the pike factions. I decided to send some of my units back this way to set up a second line of defense here, so that in case if he broke through the walls, he could come around this way or around the long way to attack from that side.
The enemy have broken through our walls. Now we must fight all the harder.
So here's my one chariot still calmly walking to the other side of the city, and he sent one of his heavy cav units to chase him down. They're winded and now they're warmed up. He's letting them rest again. The other four are still way back there, and there's really no reason for them to come around this way. He should have sent them with the rest of his army. So now he's charging them again, and they're winded. My chariots are fresh, and since that unit's by itself, I decided to go ahead and charge it, try and take it out one-on-one. He sent the rest of his cav to help, but he really didn't need the help, as that one unit of Cappadocians took out my chariot by itself, which surprised me. So at least something good came of all of his heavy cav running around that side. But he made one mistake in not pursuing the chariot the whole way, because he could have got all that cav into the city through this opening had he chased it down, but now the door is closed to him. So that one chariot's going to come back and join the rest of my army. And he's going to crash through all my infantry on this side. Until he gets back to the city center. So I thought, since chariots do inspire fear, at least I could still use this one chariot for that reason. So now the fight is starting on this side, Connor sent his Cilician pirates out first, and I didn't want to use my heads against them. I wanted to save them for the bronze shield pikemen. So I ran my head hurlers back and let my Oathsworn take the pirates in a melee fight. So the Oathsworn have the hill advantage. And with the hill advantage, they're going to take these pirates out. But I don't want to face these bronze shield pikemen on flat ground. So I'm going to run the Oathsworn back and let my head hurlers throw some heads at them to weaken them first. The heads are really good against pike units. They're really tightly packed. You see, this unit just got cut almost in half. So he's sending up more pikemen. I want to fight these pikemen on the hill so I get the hill advantage, because bronze shield pikemen are a lot better than Oathsworn in a straight up fight. So I need to weaken them as much as I can and then take advantage of the hill. Otherwise they'll just mow down all my infantry. So after War Cry, I send my Oathsworn down on those bronze shields. And my head hurlers are throwing heads at the units that are behind the battle line, trying not to hit my own men in the back. Zoom in closer here. Now I'm sending the Woad warriors around the flanks to try and get behind here. This was my reserve units, but I really need them in this fight. He's sending pikemen around the side here. And there are a couple of his units rout. Those are both Cilician pirates though, which he can afford to lose. But now pikemen are starting to rout. Connor sent his cav around this side, but I had some troops over here ready to meet them, so he bypassed them to attack on the flank over here, which is the right thing to do. But I was able to cut some of his cav off. But it's kind of too late. He's losing badly over here. All these units are routing. He still has 3 pikes, including his general unit back here, and now they really have the high ground against my infantry, which ran down there. So he needs that cav to come in and save his army. But his Cappadocians are getting killed in a fight with my best infantry. And there Connor admits defeat.
Great victories like this go only to the best.
So Connor's new. What Connor should have done was brought some archers with him, especially when he saw I was using Britannia, because Britannia doesn't have archers, so he could have marched in with those pikemen in front and with his archers behind, really could have shot the crap out of my infantry and forced me to come down and attack him on flat ground, instead of giving me the hill advantage. Also, he should not have brought that cavalry. It really didn't do him any good. But Connor was a good sport. We fought a rematch right after this in open ground, so I'm going to upload that battle next.